What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Mahogany, and I'm back with another video for you guys. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about self-love at 19 versus self-love now. So I wrote this first book called Self-Love when I was 19 years old. And this is my very first book. This is when I started to actually put my writings into like a book, because I used to just write or like do quotes or like post stuff on my Instagram that I wrote, things like that, just relatable stuff that I was going through, stuff that, just like relatable different things. And Self-Love Now is my new book that comes out in July. Comes out July 1st. And I'm really excited about the drop of the book, and I'm starting to promote and trying to get early reviews on the book, and different opinions and stuff like that, so that people know that it's worth it's purchase, it's relatable, it gives everything that I'm claiming, you know what I'm saying? So yes, so I'm gonna say, in my mind, when I was 19 and I wrote this book, the way that self-love was, or the way that where I was trying to get to at the time, I'm gonna say before, it was not as, let me see, okay, how can I say this? When I wrote it, and I was actually going through the things that I wrote in this book, or those type of things were still on my mind, and I was still trying to heal from them, things like that. But it was like I still did not embody fully what self-love was, what it meant to me at the time. Like, this was like where I was trying to get to, you know what I mean? So it was written, but it was almost like it was written for the future, so it wasn't being embodied just yet. But now though, so it's like basically from 19 to 24, which is my age now, that whole journey was it was a journey. Like, it still was getting to where it needed to be. Like, I was still getting to the point of who I am, who I'm supposed to be, and embodying what I wanted to be in life, as a woman and as a person, just for the better, of course. So then when I first wrote it, this was a really deep book for me. Like, both of them were, but I would definitely say I was in way more pain when I first wrote the one at 19. I was looking for purpose at that time in life. I didn't know why I was here, what I was doing. I was just joined the army, just had gotten out of training officially after 1 year of everything, which was basic in school and all that good stuff. And yeah, I was just trying to look for direction. Like, I was wasting away my life somewhat. Not saying like the military was a waste away in my life, but I mean, outside of that, like, I didn't have anything, you know what I mean? It was just like, just work, and that was it. So it was like, I was trying to figure out the next step. The military was a great first step, of course, like, it's my step up, but I was trying to figure out the next step, instead of just like doing what I was doing, which was definitely surrounding myself, or basically being involved with people who I clearly kind of almost pretty much didn't, I didn't love myself. I didn't love myself. Having people around me that were around me because I didn't love myself. That's the best way to put it. Almost like, like basically begging or wishing, or kind of leaning too much on someone else's presence or opinion, or them being there, like, and not really pouring anything into myself. Just, I would always find happiness in other people at this time, and find happiness in serving other people, which I mean I still do now, but it was in a way where it was like, that's what really made me so happy. It was like, I didn't make myself happy, at the time, and that just wasn't good. And I was people pleaser. I lacked knowing how to create boundaries, knowing how to say no, not wanting to say no because I didn't want to lose people. Just being too giving, not really knowing how to like cut it off and how to realize like it's okay to just not want to do something and just not do it. You know what I mean? It doesn't make you less of anything than who you are, which was a good person, which is what I wanted to always be, which is what I portrayed, and which is who I am, still even to this day. So yeah, 19, it was really rough for me. I had really went through something that was like, I didn't really share with anybody. So nobody really knows about me, what this particular thing that I went through, but it was something very heavy at the time. And that was when I decided to put my writings into a book. And that's really where this first book came from. It really had like, that's where this really came from. It came from something very painful. And I just kind of went back in time from my childhood up until the point I joined the Army. And that's what this first book, the first book is about. So now when I get to, Self-Love Now, which is why it's called Self-Love Now, that's how I came up with the name. And this book, it was still deep for me, and it was naked, and it's still real and raw as the first book, but it's more of what I really wanted it to be. This first book, it is what I wanted it to be as far as the manuscript, but like, certain things like the cover and, who I published with at the time. Well, I didn't really publish with them. I still self-published, but who helped me put the book together, which was the Zitro Publications company at that time. But now it's like this book, I did this one like by myself completely. Like this cover, I honestly, these pictures are similar. Like if you really look at them, I took these on the same days. And I wanted, like the way that this cover looks, I wanted it to be more like that for this book. But when I sent it to the, the company, they had, did their own thing with it. And I didn't knock it because I was like, okay, that's cool. I liked it. I'll pop the digital in here and so you can see like what I was saying. But I liked it a lot. And I was like, yeah, okay. So it was like, okay, it kind of got changed completely around. I wanted to be a little bit more simple, but this was a little bit more added to it. You know what I'm saying? And then I had a little bit more help, and they also helped me with setting up my account so I can upload my own things, stuff like that. Because I told them from the beginning that I wanted to self-publish, but so they went ahead and helped me with that. So that's why this book, it was different. This book, I wrote the manuscript myself. I did the interior myself. I revised it. I went through it. I looked over it. I came up with different ideas for it at different times. What could I add to the book to make it better? What kind of book did I want it to be? This book is a quote book. The first book is more like free writing, free form writing kind. Like that. It was supposed to be like poetry, but it's more like free form writing, poetry, spoken word. This book is more like quotes, relatable quotes that explains the process of the self-love journey that I went through from the beginning to the end. But the way that I set it up was the good, the bad, and the ugly. And that's what this book, the new book, is about. It brings out that journey. So back to what I was saying about it being a little bit raw. It's still, both books are raw, but this book, I did put some things in here that I wouldn't put in the first book because I didn't want to get too, like, even though I did get really personal, you know what I mean? I could have gotten more personal if that make any sense, you know what I'm saying? And this one is more personal. It's like, I really put like what I was thinking, like the very bad thoughts, or all the way up to the great thoughts. So this is like this is showing what the self-love journey for me, or like what it really looks like. People always talk about like only the positive things that you can do to love yourself, but they never talk about how it really looks, or how it looks getting there. You know, it looks really messed up. Like, it starts out like, especially if you have to learn it and you were not taught it, or you weren't raised to have high self-esteem and set boundaries for yourself and really, really hold yourself to high regards, or it was really instilled in you, it looks a mess. Like, you're up, you're down, you start over, you start at square one, you do things that you were doing before that wasn't serving you, and you're relearning lessons over and over and over and over again. You know, the thoughts of feeling so down, depressed, suicidal, all that stuff, like that type of stuff is what is in this book, you know what I mean? And then, you know, you finally get to the hump of like, okay, I can, you know, I got this. Like, I actually finally now am embodying everything that I've written over these past years, or everything that I've been through over these past years, to get to the point of where I was trying to get. You know what I'm saying? So that's what this book is about. You know, it's about that journey. It's about that, you know, being vulnerable, being naked, being open, being relatable, you know, showing like, okay, yes, self-love, I can tell you all day what you should do. Like, but this is basically what I went through to get to those good thoughts, those thoughts that show that I'm also like showing in real life now, you know, that shows self-love, because it started out one way, but then it ends, you know, good. So that's basically like the difference between, you know, self-love at 19 versus self-love now. I would say I'm more so definitely embodying it. I understand it a whole lot more, of course, like, and now I can actually live by it, walk it, talk it, breathe it. You know what I mean? Like, I can really say, okay, I've gotten to that point. It took a while, but like, you know, now I'm here. Like, I don't mind setting boundaries. Now I definitely put myself above some things that just don't deserve me. You know what I mean? I'm not saying like I feel better than people or something like that. Nothing like that. But like, literally, like, if I know it does not serve me in a good way at all, I let it go. So letting go, and that too, letting go of things that it's hard to let go of, but you know that it's not good for you, but it may feel good to you, but it's not good for you. That type of that thing, like having the strength to really like stand on your own word to yourself, that's really what it is about. And that's really what I have been doing. That's what I've been upholding. And it's not always easy. Like, sometimes you really just want to just be like, you know what, this feels more comfortable. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's not easy, but yeah. So I just kind of explained, you know, the difference between my first book and my last, well, not my last, but my most recent that's coming. And if you can relate to this video, or if you like what you heard, please do check out my books. Check out, definitely pre-order my most recent one, or just comment down below, share the video, you know, just tell me your thoughts, like, on everything. But until next time, thank you.